hands of the superpower countries. But the truth is, King Maponga, you are aware that Africans or no any other country in Africa is capable to manage the mines because we don't have the machinery to begin to process those minerals that we have today. Hence, the involvement of our friends, I call them friends, from the West, Europe,
let's call them frenemies. They're not friends. They are enemies who are pretending to be friends. Let's call them frenemies. That's a new word for you. Huh? They're frenemies. They look like friends, but they're not friends. Now, this is where, when I'm talking, you must hear me twice. When I'm saying we need to decolonize even education, that is the context I'm coming from. You blatantly want to admit that we don't have the knowledge. We don't have the skills. We don't have the machinery. Like, really? Then what is the use of our universities? What is the use of our technical colleges? What is the use of the Department of Mining? What is the use of the Department of Commerce? Why not go out there like the Chinese did? Buy the damn mine. Rent out and hire the engineers. Bring them to your own colleges and teach your own young people how to use these machines. And you walk up to any of these mines around, how many white people are in there? Are there not black people working there? So at the end of the day, with a cankered, rotten system that doesn't want to look the devil in the eye and say the education which we are giving our children is not connected to the resources that they have on the ground. So even after they get educated, they still walk around and say, but we don't have capacity, we don't have the education, we don't have the skills. If you don't have the skills, then why did you go to school? Then what were you doing in school? Learning how many legs does a grasshopper have? Then you say you're educated. Then it means that the weakest link is not only the mining sector. The weakest link is the education and technical colleges that are producing engineers, electricians, who can't even go as Zambians and look at the copper belt as a source of resource and say, how do we take our knowledge system and education in Zambia to look and study the copper industry properly and create that into a value chain so that we can employ our own children. Therefore, the curriculum at the University of Zambia is useless if it leaves the engineers and the mineralogists totally defunct of the fact of maximizing on the resources that are next door, right in front of their doors.
And what is the answer to that, those lamentations?
Chase away the professors. Chase them away. What are they doing there? Would rather go and rent out some Chinese and British and German engineers and make them as lecturers who can show us how to create the same machinery that we're busy buying from the West. We need solutions, young men. We're not here to be lamenting problems. We need a solution. So if you're an engineering lecturer at a university and you have not produced the machinery that can deal with Zambian problems, you are wasting taxpayers' money. Fold those damn papers, put them in a cardboard box and take a leave of absence. You're a weakest link to the system. Useless, to say the least. Carrying a pile of books, yet you can't even run a spaza shop.
Well spoken from Joshua Maponga. This is a very fantastic speak. If you are good in the continent of Africa, you are not allowed to stay in the continent. If you have knowledge, you are not allowed to stay in the continent. Let me give you a few examples. If you are good in football, you will be hired to play in Europe. So the continent of Africa will never benefiting from you. Otherwise, they will watch you through televisions. I remember 2 years ago when Osman Tule was offered to study master's degree in Canada. This is a young Pan-Africanist. But he refused and said, I'm going to start my master's in Rwanda because Rwanda is in Africa and they are conducting their thing.